So, could I have you introduce yourself briefly for?
Yeah, my name is Justin Ailport. I'm running for Helena City Commission.
Very good. And what do you do for a living?
I work at the Montana Democratic Party. I'm the development director.
And how long have you lived in Helena now?
2.5 years.
Okay. And is this your first time running for elected office?
Yes, correct.
Very good. So, Mr. Ailport, what made you decide to run for City Commission this year?
Well, I've always been driven to service. I've been doing community service and working in different organizations for as long as I can remember, all the way through high school, college, all that. And I believe that good people need to step up, particularly people of my generation that are innovative problem solvers to tackle Helena's issues. And I plan on making Helena my home, so I want to be part of it from the get-go.
Very good. What do you feel makes you qualified for this position?
Yeah, so kind of what I said, like I've been doing service my whole life, and I'm definitely a problem solver. I tend to look at issues not so much as what's holding us up, but what could be possible. And I think when we look at issues such as the snow plowing issue in Helena, we need to tackle it that way and look and be like, what could be possible instead of maybe just looking at what we've always done.
Very good. What do you see as the #1 issue facing the city going forward?
I think the #1 issue is our infrastructure. The roads, sidewalks, the bikeability of our city, the snow plowing, all those things are really critical to the livability of our city. And it makes our citizens a lot happier if we're able to provide those basic needs and necessities. So I think that is the most critical issue.
How satisfied are you with the level of services being provided in Helena right now, and do you think there's room for improvements to be made?
Yeah, I think we have many departments that do an excellent job. You know, like we have so many parks and public space around our city, which is amazing, and they're always well taken care of. Our solid waste department does an incredible job, something that people may not think about a lot, but is actually really critical to our well-beings. I would go back again to the quality of our roads throughout this city. The city is making great efforts this year in many of our major thoroughways, but I think we need to focus on all the roads across the city, along with the snow plowing. But I get the difficulty behind it and the unpredictability of storms, of course.
I think you've addressed it a little bit already, but what do you think is working well in city government right now, and what do you think needs to work better?
Yeah, I think that we have a really accessible city government. I think it's something we have in Montana as a whole, is we can access our elected officials, our commissioner, our mayor, and be listened to. One thing I think that could be done better is the city government as a whole, maybe beyond our elected officials, can be better at communicating to residents about projects, when a project may get done, all that stuff. So the communication to our residents along with the timeliness of requests.
Are there issues that you don't feel have received enough attention from the city over the past few years?
None that I can think of off my top of my head. I mean, I know that the city is working hard on all the things that I care about as well. I think that there needs to be a different take on those kind of basic issues. I would say, actually, now that I think of it, I think the fire department needs to be better funded and has been seen as something that, although they do a wonderful job, could be offered a considerable amount of support in the future.
What do you think, from a philosophical standpoint, the role of the city government ought to be? It
ought to be a group of individuals that are looking out for all of its citizens beyond just kind of fixing their needs. I think it needs to be a group of people that are committed to fighting with the citizens of Helena to improve everybody's quality of life. So they should be advocates for everybody.
Now, several of the candidates in this year's election are running together on sort of unofficial slates. Are you supporting or been supported by any of the other candidates running in the elections this year?
No.
And finally, my last question then, what message do you want to leave voters with as they make their decision?
As we look forward to the future of our community, I think we really need to look at how livable it is when it comes to fixing our roads and the sidewalks and all those basic needs and necessities, bringing more jobs, funding our emergency services that may be overlooked by a lot of people, but I do believe if we're able to provide the basic needs and necessities to our citizens, not only will it improve the quality of life of everybody here in Helena, but it'll also make everybody a lot happier. And then I think that we can go from there on what we do next.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.